Hiya! Hello, and on behalf of the Mindalia.com team, welcome! Today, Carolina Fonseca is joining us to tell us about why do we have repetitive dreams. Carolina Fonseca dedicates herself to guiding her community in the art of dream interpretation, and she writes children's books that promote love, unity, and peace. So let's not delay this any further, and welcome, Carolina. How are you?
Doing fine. Thank you so much for having me today.
It's a pleasure for me sharing this space with you. And whenever you want, you can start. I'm looking forward to hear you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So it's a pleasure to be with everybody today. As you know, today we're going to talk about why do we have repetitive dreams. Now, if you're like me, you probably have a bunch of dreams within your lifetime, and you're probably wondering what some of these dreams, and oftentimes those dreams start to repeat themselves. So we have this question of what does this dream mean and why does it keep repeating itself? So today we're going to talk about that. But before we get into that topic, I think it's so important that we understand the dream world and what it actually offers us. So what is the dream world? When we're talking about the dream world, it is that state of when you're sleeping, you hit that REM sleep, you start seeing all these different visions. Sometimes there are whole scenarios, and oftentimes you start feeling different things within the dream. So whenever this is happening, this is when you're in dream state. So within dream state, there are so many things that we can capture, and repetitive dreams really are a way of guiding us, and they're letting us know, hey, this is something we're not paying attention to. So when we're talking about repetitive dreams and the dream world, it's important to understand what exactly it consists of. So real quickly, let's talk about it. When we get into the dream world, we have those past dreams. Have you all had those dreams where, for example, you either see yourself from your childhood or you see yourself maybe in a different life, like a life before this one? If you've had experiences like that, then you have had what is called past dreams. So those dreams of the past can come in, and those dreams can help guide us. These dreams often take forms of childhood adventures. Sometimes we even have childhood traumas that come up, but that is what happens with the past dreams. Now, whenever we're talking about past dreams, we can kind of go into this little timeline into what's present dreams. The present dreams that we have oftentimes are what is actually going on within this time, within today. These dreams also help guide us because they're letting us know, hey, this is how you're operating your life. This is how you're currently feeling. Now, these dreams are really helpful to us because they can also help guide us, but these are specifically for the now. Now, let's move a little bit further into what's very exciting to a lot of us, and those are those future dreams. Have you ever had a dream where you feel that there is a huge possibility that something is going to happen? All right, those dreams are what we call premonition dreams. Those are future dreams. Now, whenever we experience these dreams, these can help also guide us, and they can kind of let us know this is a potential that's going to happen in your future if everything continues the same way. So these dreams are also important. Now, last thing when we're talking about the dream world, we want to talk about those dreams with the different dimensions, because within the dream world, there are those dimensions that are above and below. Now, when we're talking about this, you're probably wondering, what are these dimensions and what do they look like? So these dimensions look different for all of us. They look different for every single person. For example, have you had a dream where you feel like it is completely out of this world? The images that you're seeing, the feelings that are going within you are just different. You're experiencing something that is out of this 3D dimensional world. If you have that experience, then you have been able to see into another window, okay, into another dimension. So these dreams are kind of what goes on within the entire dream world. So now that we've hit on these past dreams, we've hit on the present dreams, we've hit on the future dreams, and of course, the various dimensions above and below. Whenever you're having a dream that is coming into your dream world again and again and again, it is simply letting you know that there's something you're missing. All right, there's something that we're missing, something that we're not capturing. So what is going on? Whenever we're in waking state, we're doing everything, we're interacting with different people. Our subconscious, our inner energy is capturing all of this information. We're getting various concerns, we're getting various worries, we're getting feelings of love, we're getting all sorts of feelings, but all of this is kind of within the body, within the energy field, within your subconscious. So whenever you go to bed at night, it's going to alert you. It's going to come up in a form of dream. And oftentimes it's going to look very dramatic, very different than what you're seeing whenever you're in waking state. But again, these dreams are here to guide us. So if it keeps coming again and again, we can call this a repetitive dream. But now it's very important that we do understand the dream world whenever we're talking about these dreams that are repetitive, because the question is, why is this particular dream coming back, especially if it's one of those past dreams? Let's explore this past dream scenario for a little bit, because these are the ones that happen most often. For example, if you've had an experience when you were a child, maybe a traumatic experience when you were little, whether it be in school or with your family, if you had this experience when you're little and you weren't able to heal from it, if you still have a lot of harsh feelings about it, or you see yourself still reliving some of these same things in your present state, you can guarantee that you're going to have dreams like this. You're going to have dreams of your childhood, whether it be those exact images or those feelings. But either way, you're going to be able to access that in dream state. And when it comes up in dream state, what it's saying is, it's saying we haven't healed this. This is something we still need to work on. So now it's great and all that we have this information with dream state, but now the question is, what do we do with this information? What do we do knowing that this repetitive dream is coming back because I had a childhood trauma, that this repetitive dream is coming back because I haven't healed? But now the next step is, what can we do with this information? This is the part that is so important and that is so powerful for each one of us, because what ends up happening is we can end up manifesting whatever it is that we need to heal. There are two ways to do this. Let's go ahead and touch on these. I want to make sure we have enough time to cover everything that we can in these few minutes. But okay, one way to deal with these traumatic experiences, if they keep coming up in dream state, is to take action within the dream. You're probably asking yourself, how in the heck am I going to take action within the dream? Well, these dreams are those lucid dreams. Who is familiar with that? Have you had a dream where you are totally aware that you're dreaming? Maybe you're able to move around. Maybe you're able to walk and explore. If you've had dreams like that, then you have experienced a lucid dream. And these dreams are incredibly magical and they're powerful, okay? We can use these to heal these childhood traumas. We can use these to heal various situations from our past. The way that we do that is, whenever you're in dream state, let's say that you're having a repetitive dream and you are being traumatized in the dream. It's that same scenario coming again and again. One thing that you can do is, if you're aware that you're dreaming, you can act differently within the dream. For example, I had one dreamer tell me that he used to get abused a lot when he was very little. So he would constantly have dreams of this same scenario would play back and back again. So one day he actually was practicing this lucid dreaming. And when he went to bed at night, that same dream happened. But this time he acted differently. This time he was able to stop the person from hurting him. He was able to gather enough physical strength within the dream state to say, stop, that is enough. Okay, and that person within dream state disappeared. You're probably wondering, that's great and all, Carolina, but that's only in dream state. What does that have anything to do with waking state? And I'll tell you something, it has everything to do with waking state, because what it's doing is it's programming a new pathway, a new way of thinking, a new way of doing things. This particular individual was so used to being the victim, was so used to being harmed, being hurt physically and emotionally, that he got used to living his life like this. Right? He started living his life like this every single day in waking state in his adult life. But because he was able to have this dream, and then secondly, have a lucid dream where he was able to act on this dream, do something completely different than he's used to doing, he was able to take his power back in this instant. And remember, whenever you're practicing these things within dream state, not only are you just practicing it and making yourself feel good within the dream, but that same energy is going to be shown in waking state, because again, you're practicing it at the most deepest level of your subconscious while you're sleeping. So whenever you're able to take action like that, that is how you can begin to start changing, start doing the things that you really enjoy doing, and let go of those things that are no longer serving us. So whenever we're talking about these repetitive dreams, yes, it's great to know that they're repetitive, that they're coming again and again. But it's very important to know, what is this dream trying to tell me first? And then the second thing is, what am I going to actually do with this information? Because if we just have a whole slew of journals with our dreams in them, it's a good start, but we need to start taking it a step further. We need to start healing. And repetitive dreams really are such a gift to us. I had one particular dreamer that she was having dreams that were very traumatic as well, but she started realizing that these dreams were a gift, because it was like a red flag over and over again, letting her know it's enough. It's enough to be living my life in the same way. So it was really an alert to her to let her know it was time to change. It was time to move on. So just like we can have repetitive dreams that are from the past, we can have a lot of repetitive dreams from the present. What do these look like? Okay, these dreams are going to look like how you look now. You are going to feel like you feel now. You are going to see yourself at this same age. You're going to see yourself maybe even in the same job you have, etc. It's going to be one of those dreams of the present. But if you have a present dream that keeps on repeating itself too, it is there to guide you. Let's get into the details of how that may look for you. All right. Let's say, like one of our fellow dreamers, he had a dream where he was at work doing the same thing he always does, and he was so tired of working there, but he kept dreaming that he was still at that same job, and he just felt so exhausted, so tired. He started finding that he was working so hard in waking state, and then he would go to sleep at night, and then he would continue working. And he's like, Carolina, I don't understand. I work so much in waking state. Why does it have to follow me to dream state? And why do I have to feel so bad about it? So in this case, his feelings within this dream were frustration, and he was so ready to leave this particular job. So because they kept coming up in dream state, it was another alert. It was letting him know, hey, you are tired of this. This is all that we have to offer right now. This is all that we have to share right now. And he got to a point where it was so exhausting. He was so ready to let that go. And now the question is, okay, we know what this means, but where are we going to take action? And like we talked about before with the past dreams, there are two ways that we can really take action in this. One is in dream state, okay, and the other is in waking state. Now, you have to choose what is right for you. This particular individual decided to make a change in waking state. So for him, this looked like taking a break from this job and going to something different, expanding his horizons, doing something that was a little bit out of his comfort zone, right? And the reason he did this was because he realized that all that was surrounding him, all that he was submerging himself in, was just that work. That was all he was doing within waking state, and that was all that he was doing in dream state. And the feeling wasn't one of love, it was one of frustration, it was one of anxiety. So he needed to find something different to do. So these present dreams that we have also can help guide us tremendously because they let us know where we stand. Okay, for example, have you ever had a dream of things that you're doing currently? Okay, let's say maybe like our friend, you had a dream of you being at that particular job, or maybe you had a dream of you studying that particular topic that you're studying. Okay, these dreams, depending on the feeling, are going to guide us. So whenever you're looking at any dream, especially the repetitive dreams, you want to focus on the feeling. What is that feeling that is going on within you in dream state? Because that feeling is what's going to guide you. Let me give you another example. If you have a dream like our fellow dreamer that he is working, but let's say that your feeling isn't frustration. Let's say that instead it's a feeling of joy and of accomplishment, okay? And you're dreaming about this. That is a totally different interpretation. That simply is letting us know that we are giving it all that we've got, that this is a place of joy for us. This is giving us enjoyment. It is fulfilling something within us. So the same dream can have a different meaning for different people depending on the feelings associated with it. Now, if you're having a present dream and you're finding that you're just feeling amazing, you're feeling great in the current state that you're in, that's fantastic. But you're probably thinking, well, what am I supposed to do with that? Is it just good for me that I feel good? And you know what? It is. It is good that you're feeling good within dream state, because what that does is it just kind of sets the tone for you. Okay, think about it. If we can have these dreams at night where we're more conscious, where we're more aware, where we're able to express ourselves in a more loving way, a more peaceful way, if we're able to do this within dream state, we are practicing it at the deepest level of ourselves. So you can imagine that this energy is going to trickle when we wake up. So now you're going to find yourself at your job, at your school, with your kids, etc. And you're going to be doing things in a more loving and in a more peaceful way. Why? Because we've been practicing it in dream state. That's why it's so important. Now, these repetitive dreams that keep coming in, they are an alert for us, okay? But they're different for every single person. So now that we've touched a little bit on the present, let's focus on those future dreams, because this is where we can make even more changes. All right, when we're talking about these future dreams, those dreams where you feel like something is about to happen, something is going to change, something is going to, be completely dramatic within waking state. Whenever you have a premonition dream, that is the future. Oftentimes it's letting you know, with the way that everything is going now, with the way that you're acting, with the way that you're taking actions, etc., it is very likely that this situation will present itself. Right? Let's talk about this, because oftentimes people can feel a little bit fearful whenever they have a dream of the future if it's of something that they don't want. We had one dreamer that she had a dream that somebody in her family was going to get sick. This was a loved one, and she was very concerned for this particular individual. Now, she had two choices, all right? These are the two choices we all have whenever we have any dream, especially these future dreams, excuse me. One, we can accept the dream for what it is and we can give it energy. Okay, by doing that, what we're saying is, I accept this dream. I accept that I saw my loved one being ill. I accept it as my truth. I accept it as my reality. And guess what? Because we give it that energy, we are going to help create that. All right, you're going to help manifest it. You can go ahead and agree with your dream, or you can challenge it. You can do something different. This is what we want to do oftentimes. Whenever a dream that is one of those future dreams, if it's causing you some kind of sadness, some kind of frustration, etc., you have the power. You have the power to manifest something completely different. You're probably wondering, how do I do this? How do I do this with just a dream, with just a vision? So just like you give energy to that dream that you just had, you can give energy to something different. You can say, for example, okay, I see that my loved one may get sick. I see that that is what myself is perceiving right now. With my interactions with this person, I feel that they may get sick because of the way that they're running their life, because of the way I see that they're running their life. All right. But I am able to see that. I see it as a potential. This doesn't mean it has to happen. What I can do instead is prepare myself with that energy of love, unity, and peace, so that way I can help this person. Because even though I sense that this is a possibility, I don't need to worry myself that it will or will not happen. Instead, I need to focus on preparing myself so that way I have loving energy to assist, to help in any way that I can in case that does happen. Now, whenever you focus on this, whenever you focus on making yourself feel good about a particular situation, whenever you make yourself feel good about just what it is that you're doing, what it is that you're seeing, what you're doing in that point is just growing unconditional love. And whenever you grow that loving energy within yourself, it is so much easier to see it out there. So next time that this dream repeats itself, you may see something different. You may not see it with those eyes of sadness, with those eyes of frustration anymore. You're going to see them with eyes of possibility. The reason for this is because if we start to pivot our energy, if instead of seeing a dream that we're unhappy with, if instead of accepting it for unhappiness, for sadness, we pivot to a more loving place and we see the loving qualities within the dream and what the dream is telling us to do. For example, in this case, it's I need to prepare myself. I need to be in that energy of love. So that way, if this person does get sick, since I'm perceiving they may, I will be ready to assist. I will be ready to help. That is where the power comes in. And you know what ends up happening is when you start focusing instead on assisting yourself and also on giving healthy energy to this person, you can also offer them healing energy. Another thing we can do with these repetitive dreams that are of the future, especially for this particular dreamer, is we can do meditations. Okay, we can do meditations that encourage more loving energy, that encourage healing for this person. Now, whenever we're practicing all of these things, not only is it helping heal ourselves, it is helping heal the other people, because remember, we're all connected in this world. Oftentimes we think that whenever we interact with people in waking state that we're connected with them in that way. But the reality of it is that that connection continues in dream state. So another thing we can do is, begin to heal within dream state with the art of lucid dreaming. So you're probably wondering, whenever we're talking about lucid dreaming, how can a person have more lucid dreams? Because if you're having a repetitive dream, whether it be a dream of the past, whether it be a dream of the present, those of the future, or various dimensions, we still have to hit on the dimensions. We'll get into that in just a little bit. But wherever that dream is for you, these repetitive dreams are used to guide you. So now we've got to be able to see, what is the next action? What is the next step that I need to take in order to help myself? And lucid dreaming is one thing. So one way that you can have a lucid dream, this is a very easy way, and maybe you've heard of it before. So throughout the day, in order for you to be able to have a lucid dream, you'll want to ask yourself this question: am I dreaming or am I awake? Now, it sounds a little bit strange, but if you do this, if you ask yourself this, start with like 5 or 6 times a day. Ask yourself, am I dreaming or am I awake? And start looking around. And as you're looking around, if everything looks like it looks now, for example, in 3D, everything's looking pretty normal, then you can assume, okay, I am awake. This is waking state. Okay, ask yourself that enough. What ends up happening is that one time, whenever you're going to be sleeping, you're going to ask yourself that same question. And when you ask yourself, am I dreaming or am I awake in dream state? You're going to look around. Something's going to look a little bit funky. And then you're going to say, oh my gosh, I did it. I am lucid. I am aware. Okay, When you do that, be sure to be as peaceful and as calm as you can. That way you don't excite yourself out of the dream. All right. You want to be lucid within it. The reason we want to be lucid is because at this point, if you're having that repetitive dream, and if you can practice being lucid whenever you need to, you can be awake in the dream and you can take action. Just like our first dreamer, the first dreamer that was having that traumatic childhood experience, he was lucid, he took action, and that helped him not only within dream state, but it helped him in waking state, in being able to stand up for himself, not having that victim role again, right? Being able to act in a whole different way. So whenever we do this in dream state, it is through those dreams, it is through those lucid dreams, but you do have to practice it. So that's one way, okay? Because if you're having these repetitive dreams, it's time to take action. Lucid dreaming is one way to take action within dream state. Another way to be able to have this lucid dream is one that's my favorite, and it's a little bit strange, but I'll show you real quick. All right, pick something, anything around you. I have these sticky notes in front of me, so I'm going to use them. Okay, I'm going to grab one sticky note. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a moment, and I am just going to look at this and look at all the little details I can find, okay? I'll explain why in a second, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to look at it in every angle that I can. I'm going to see how thin it is. I'm going to see the color it is. I'm going to see that it has some little dust particles on it. You're probably wondering, that's strange. What is that going to do for me? Okay, this is what happens. If you have a moment of just concentration on one little item within waking state, if you're able to just look at it and take your time with it, what ends up happening is that same kind of practice of intensely focusing on one item, one object, that energy will go with you whenever you go to sleep at night. And what's going to end up happening is you're going to find yourself in dream state. You're going to have picked something up, and then you're going to glance at it. And next thing you notice, you are going to be staring at that thing. And you're going to do the same thing that you've been practicing in waking state with this little sticky note or whatever you pick up. Why? Because it's a reflection, okay? Whenever we're awake and whenever we're sleeping, it's happening to the same being. It's happening to us. We are completely united. Oftentimes, we want to ignore all of these things that dream state offers us, but the reality of it is, dream state is us. All of those weird images that you're seeing, all of those dreams that you don't understand, that is a reflection of you. Okay, that is a reflection of each one of us, and it's letting us know this is how we're operating. This is what we have to offer right now. So if you practice this strange little thing within waking state, it will reflect, and you will have a moment of lucidity in your dream state. And again, what happens with that is once you're able to practice it enough, you'll be able to do things differently. You'll be able to take actions in various ways. Now, I want to talk to you about something that's very important within repetitive dreams. And whenever you have these lucid dreams, something you can do that will heal you so much on various levels. If you're able to have this lucid dream, and let's say you either stop someone from harming you, you're able to fly away, you're able to do whatever you need to do to feel better within this dream. Act in a way that's different from your waking state, okay? If you're able to do that, you're able to heal. And then if you're continuing to be lucid in the dream, go ahead and take a moment to explore. Take your time in this exploration, explore the dream world. If you're outside, take a moment to just breathe in that air, to look around, to just create new things if you're able to. You're probably wondering, why does it matter if I create anything within dream state? What does that have anything to do with me in waking state? The connection is incredible, because if you're able to have this lucid dream and not only get yourself out of that situation that harmed you before, but create something new out of it, this is totally expanding your senses. It is expanding your mind, your creativity, and it's letting you know there are no more limits anymore, right? There are no more limits for yourself that you're setting. Instead, you heal from this, you expand, you grow, you create new things. One of the things that I really enjoy doing whenever I'm doing this kind of thing is I enjoy flying and looking at just the world from above. I enjoy doing that so much, and I find that it just brings so much peace to me. And while I'm flying, I create things. I create various islands that I want to look at. I create, whatever it is that I need to see in that moment to feel connected to myself, I create it. And what ends up happening is that whenever I wake up and I start operating my waking day, I end up being more creative. I end up seeing more opportunity. I end up seeing more solutions in problems. Why? Because I've been practicing it in dream state. When you get used to this practice of really using your dreams, not only to guide you, but to heal, you're able to do so much more. Now, I want to touch on the various dimensions when we're talking about repetitive dreams before we close out, and I'm hoping we have enough time. So Whenever we talk about these various dimensions, you want to also think about what these mean to you, because I know that oftentimes they can seem a little bit out of this world, and they will be, right? They'll be very different. But what ends up happening is that these dreams, even though they seem strange, they will repeat themselves. And when they do, you can ask yourself the question, what is this dream telling me? Okay, even though let's say that the images look completely different, the world looks completely different, that's okay. There is still a message for you within it. All of those dreams that you have a message within it. I had one dreamer, for example, she said that she had a dream that she was in a whole different planet. She wasn't even in this world, but she said that she was feeling so good. She was feeling really good about everything. She had a whole different family. It was a whole different scenario. But she said that one thing that she noticed that she was doing differently in this world was that she was the leader. She was the leader of the pack. And usually in waking state, she's a lot of the follower, right? She's a follower in waking state. But this dream helped her realize that in other dimensions, she does play more of a lead role. So for her, that connection was so profound, because she said, you know what? I kept having that dream over and over again of being the leader. So I want to make sure that I can bring that energy to waking state. And that's what it's about. It's about being able to connect with yourself, understand what the dream is telling you, especially those that repeat themselves, because those that repeat themselves are here to really put a red flag on it, to really help guide us. So it's time for us to listen to those and to take action. Now, I do want to let you know, I know our time is coming to an end, and I can keep on talking, as you can see, but I want to let you know, if you have a question about a particular dream, please include your feelings. Whenever we interpret any dream, it's not just a white or black answer. The feelings within the dream are what help guide the dream interpretation. And I also want you to remember that I'm always here to help guide our followers in the art of dream interpretation, but only you will know your completely dream language. So take your time, be patient with yourself, and invite these dreams to come at night, because they are here to guide you. But I want to thank you, and I know that our time is coming to an end, but I look forward to connecting with you all soon.
Carolina, all this information was really, really interesting. So thank you very much for sharing your time and your knowledge with us. Now let's start incorporating into our conversation some questions from the people watching us. I'm telling you the first one. John from England says, what happens when we dream several times about the death of a loved one? It happens to me a lot of times.
Okay. Thank you for that question. So it depends. It depends on what you're feeling during the dream. And also, I'd like to know if this person has passed away already or not, because if this person has not passed away yet and you keep seeing them like they're going to go, they're going to die, etc., what are you feeling? Because oftentimes when we dream of somebody's death, it doesn't always mean that they are going to die. It could be the end of a cycle for them. Maybe they've been, doing a lot of things that weren't the best for them. Maybe the dream is letting you know that that cycle is ending. They're going to be able to start new. So make sure to, number one, listen to your feelings. What are you feeling within the dream whenever you see this person dying? Are you feeling a sense of relief? Are you feeling joy for them in some way? Are you feeling sadness? What is it that you're feeling? That's going to help you, number one. And then number two, is this person still with you, or have they passed on? That part is very important. If you can include that later, I'd be happy to go into more detail with it. The more details that you all put, and specifically the feelings, the easier it will be for me to guide you. But thank you. I hope that helps at least put you in the right direction. Thank you.
Let's continue with another question from Mariah. She is in Australia and she says, sometimes we have a dream that we don't remember, but we know that it wants to tell us something important. How to remember it when we wake up?
Okay, I love that question. That's a very important one. And I'm going to tell you exactly what I do. I just did a video on this the other day. Okay, so I feel you. I have had so many dreams where I am about to wake up and I feel the importance of it. But then the images start leaving and I'm like, no, and I'm trying to grasp it. Okay, this is what you do. Don't open your eyes yet. If you have a feeling that you just had an important dream, keep your eyes closed. Keep your eyes closed for a moment and focus on your feeling, because there will always be a little feeling that lingers with it. Focus on that feeling for a little bit and just keep breathing, okay? Allow your mind to kind of float. Allow it to bring in images for you, okay? When you start doing that, when you start practicing that, eventually you're going to get one little image. And that little image is going to be enough for you, because that image paired up with your feeling is going to be able to connect with you, and that'll give you a little bit more information. Once you're able to practice getting connected with that, it'll be like pulling a string, right? It'll be like a little string of information that you keep on pulling. But first of all, close those eyes, don't open them yet, connect with that feeling and allow the images to come to you. They will come. And the more that you practice, the easier it will be for you. I want to also tell you that I always encourage our followers to write down their dreams, and that's great. But the more that you practice it, the more that it will be like your life. Like the memories that you have within waking state, it'll be the same thing in dream state. You're going to be able to tell which are different, of course, but they will be in line with you. They will be completely a part of you. So the more you practice it, the more it'll happen. Thank you so much for your question.
Joshua from the United States says, I dream that I am chased by a dinosaur in a city over and over again since I was a child. When I wake up, I feel anxiety, but also a pleasant adrenaline. What can this mean? That's funny, isn't it?
It's very interesting. And what's very interesting about this is that the same images from childhood are coming to present state. Because what happens a lot of the time is that we have dreams within childhood, but they grow just as we grow, and new images come that maybe are connected to that time, that scenario, but not always the dream images come themselves. So the fact that you're still being able to connect with this particular dream is incredible. I think that's wonderful. So first of all, let's talk about this. You're saying that you're feeling adrenaline within the dream. If you can, you've got to reflect it outward. What I mean by this is look back at the dream. You say you're being chased by this dinosaur when you were a child. Okay, what was going on in your life when you first had that dream? We've got to be able to say, okay, this is what was going on during my life in this dream. Was something going on at home where you felt like you were rushed, like there was a lot going on for you, something you were trying to outrun? What was it that you were trying to outrun when you were a child? Because this image, this scenario is obviously still very deeply rooted with you. So we have to explore that first. Take a moment to do that. If you can't remember right away, there's a way to access it. You can do it via meditation. If you take a moment to meditate on this, allow that answer to come to you. Once you can reflect it outward and say, you know what, this is the situation I was going through within waking state, then we can know what it is we have to heal, because there's something there that still needs healing. And that is why it keeps coming back. And even more importantly for you, it keeps coming back in the same images. I hope that helped to guide you to begin with. But as you can see, we can continue talking about this more deeply. Thank you, Joshua, for sending that in. And I'm also from the US, so hi to you.
Carolina, we've got a Spanish question. Margarita
Okay.
Liberona León from Facebook. I'm reading it in Spanish and also in English, right? ¿Qué significa cuando lo que sueñas se convierte en realidad al día siguiente? So that means when you dream about something and it comes to reality on the day after. Do we have some special talent or something like that?
Yes, so I will also answer it in Spanish and English. Ok, mira, muchas gracias por esa pregunta. Ese es un regalo enorme. ¿Sabes por qué? Porque si tú puedes tener un sueño antes de que suceda algo, estos son esos sueños premonitorios. Tu ser nos está dejando saber, estás conectada a tu ser tan profundamente que presientes lo que va a suceder, ¿ok? Entonces sí, este es un regalo. Si puedes practicar esto más, por ejemplo, ahorita que sabes que tienes este sueño, apúntalo, apunta qué fue, apunta qué sucedió, porque esa conexión es muy poderosa y ¿sabes qué? Va a venir más información para ti, para ayudarte y para guiarte. Si de repente sueñas de otras personas, del futuro de ellos, recuerda que es para que tú estés preparada para asistirlos, ¿ok? Después podemos hablar más de eso. Me encanta que estás teniendo este tipo de sueño. Felicidades. So I will go ahead and say this in English. So I think that question is amazing, and it is such a gift, really, because whenever we have a dream, okay, we're having this dream, and then all of a sudden, bam, it happens in waking state. That is a huge gift. It's letting us know that you're a kind of person that is so connected to yourself. You are so profoundly connected to yourself that you can perceive what is going to happen. And that's amazing, because what this does is that it can prepare you. It can prepare you, and it can help you prepare others. For example, if you begin to have dreams about other people or other people's future, that dream is for you. That dream is for you to be prepared to assist them. So what I recommend for you is to go ahead and write this down. You've got to write this down and say, had a dream that this was going to happen, and the next day this exact thing happened. Why? Because what we're doing there is we're reinforcing the idea that this is important, that we want to take note of it. And guess what? This is going to happen more often for you if you practice practice it. It is such a gift, and I want to thank you for sharing that with us today.
We've got another Spanish question. Lola
Okay.
Valerie from Spain. She says, what about dreaming you are pregnant? I read this is related to something in you waiting to wake up.
Yes, okay. That's a great question. So it can mean different things for different people. Let's explore this just a bit. Whenever you dream that you are pregnant, think about this. What are the feelings associated with that dream? Is it a feeling of excitement? Is it a dream of longing? Is it a dream of, oh my gosh, I know it's going to happen? What is it that you're feeling? Because oftentimes it can be foretelling that you will have a child soon, but oftentimes too, it can just simply be that you are about to create something amazing, whether that be a project, whether that be something amazing you have to offer the world. It can be just that, but you've got to let your feelings guide you. And I'll tell you something, a lot of you know exactly what this dream is telling us, right? Every single person that has a dream knows exactly what it means. It just takes a little bit of time to connect with yourself and to be honest with those feelings that are going on within dream state. So explore that, explore what your feelings are letting you know and connect with that, because there's something amazing that you are going to help create, whether that be an actual being or whether it be a project. Something amazing is going to be created by you. So let's explore that a little bit further. If you can put the feelings down below, I'd be happy to respond a little bit later once we have time. Thank you. Was that also in
Let's.
Spanish?
Oh no, it's okay. It's okay because
Oh,
she
okay.
asked in English, so it's
Okay.
all right. Let's continue with another one from Temps19 from the United States. He or she, I don't know, says, are dreams always meaningful or are they sometimes no sense?
Okay, this is such an important question. A couple of different answers here, and this is very important. Okay, so whenever we're having a dream that you say this makes no sense, it means absolutely nothing. That in itself has a huge meaning. Okay, it has a huge significance. We've got to ask ourselves this, reflect it outward. If this dream is completely confusing and has no meaning, ask yourself, how am I running my life? Am I running my life out of confusion? Am I not united with myself? Am I doing one thing, saying another? Am I disconnected with my inner being? Because oftentimes, if we have these dreams where there's so much confusion, where there's a lot of frustration, it is just reflecting what is going on within waking state. But also remember this, everybody, this is so important. If I am a person that I'm always watching TV, I'm always watching movies, I'm always watching a bunch of stuff, if I am continuously filling myself with all these various movies, all these various things, it's very common that these kinds of images are going to show up in dream state. So if you want to have dreams that guide you, if you want to have those dreams of deep connection with yourself, we've got to be able to be more conscious in waking state. We've got to be very picky with what it is that we're watching, what it is that we're doing, and we've got to practice being in unity with ourselves. So what I mean by this is unite. We've got to unite, mind, body, and spirit. Because when we do that, your dreams will make sense. They will reflect in the same way that you're living your life. So every dream, whether it seems weird, strange, or like it makes no sense, it all makes some sense, and it is all here to help guide you. But we do have to just be honest with ourselves of how we're living our lives. I do appreciate your question. It helps all of us. Thank you.
Carolina, I think we have a really important question so we can help a lot of people. Lily from Scotland says, I usually have a lot of nightmares. How to avoid them? Can we do some exercises before sleeping?
Absolutely. And you're right. That is such an important question. So oftentimes when these nightmares come, we want to get rid of them. Okay. We're like, avoid, avoid, avoid. But let me tell you something. We don't want to avoid them. Let me tell you why. Oftentimes, whenever we have these dreams that we call nightmares, these dreams that bring enormous amount of fear, there's such an important message behind it. Oftentimes, this fear is here to help guide us. It's letting us know this is really what I'm carrying. This is what I've been holding on to for so long. And that fear can come up in a weird image, right? In a weird kind of nightmare. But if we ignore it, if we try to push it away, oftentimes we're not connecting with what we need to heal. So I don't recommend that we just avoid them, but I do recommend that we look at the images within the nightmare, and learn from them. But I will also offer this information. In order to help yourself have more peaceful dreams, again, we've got to be very conscious and aware. What are we watching? Are you watching a lot of scary movies? Are you watching a lot of mysterious movies? What is it that you're watching? Because if you're filling yourself with this energy, it's very common that it's going to trickle into dream state. So a couple things we can do. Number one, be very conscious of what we're filling ourselves with. And I literally kind of mean that. Fill yourself with loving energy, fill yourself with peaceful energy, things that bring you peace. So let's go ahead and get rid of all of those things that don't serve us anymore, those scary movies, all of those. Now, the next thing is, if you like meditating or if you want to explore that, that is a wonderful thing to do. Let me explain real quick why. If we practice meditation within waking state, if we're able to get into that energy of love, of unity, of peace within waking state, then that energy trickles naturally into dream state. So whenever you go to bed at night, you are going to have more calm, more peaceful dreams. And guess what? That also helps with lucid dreaming. Why? Because we're, again, connecting with ourselves so profoundly and being so conscious and so aware that it has to reflect in dream state. It has nowhere else to go because we are one being. Okay, now the last thing we can do is before you go to bed, go ahead and set your intention. It is so important that you set your intention. If you want to have a loving dream, if you want to have a healing dream, go ahead and ask for what you want. Let's not focus on the nightmare at this point. Let's go ahead and say, I welcome a loving dream to enter me and to heal me. I welcome this tonight. Go ahead and set your intention and go to bed, and you're going to have loving dreams. Keep practicing these things, and it is going to happen for you even easier. Thank you so much for that question. I hope this was helpful.
Right, so we have no more time. We've got more questions, but maybe for the next time. Carolina, thank you one more time, and let me tell you about the people that has been with us today. They join us from the United Kingdom, United States, Australia, Spain, Scotland, Argentina, and Mexico. And now you have a few seconds, of course, to say goodbye to all the people who are watching and listening to us. What are your final thoughts for today, Carolina?
I just want to say that I just feel so thankful to be here connecting with you all today. Whenever we connect with dreams, it really helps us connect in a very profound way. So I just want to thank each and every one of you, because all of your questions not only have helped the other viewers, but they help me too. So I send you a huge virtual hug. Thank you so much. And I hope to see you all, connect with you all soon.
So thank you one more time, Carolina. It has been a real pleasure for me sharing this space with you. And to you, dear friends of Mindalia, remember you can join us through YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Periscope, VK, and VonLive. I think it's called VK, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah, that's good.
All right. So before saying goodbye, we also want to remind you that Mindalia.com is an international non-profit organization. You can collaborate with us by liking our content, leaving us a positive comment, subscribing to our channel or different platforms, and sharing this video with someone else, of course. Finally, you can donate through a link you will find in our website, www.mindalia.com. By doing so, you help us to keep creating more content like the one you enjoyed with us today. Having said that, I'm feeling really, really grateful. We are ready to say goodbye for now until a next Mindalia live streaming. Thank you very much, dear friends, and thank you very much, Carolina. See you the next time.